video, I will show you how to make an API request to the Canvas LMS API so that we can end up getting important information about assignments, the important information being the name of the assignment as well as the points possible for that assignment. First off, I've got these lines of code. Starting off, importing request module. That's what we're going to use to make the request to the Canvas LMS API. I've also got a custom module that I created called myToken. Within that file, I have a function that is going to be returning my access token. So I call myToken.example_student. That is the function that's going to return my access token. Then I've got the Canvas base URL. This is for our school. I've got the endpoint listed here that we're going to end up using, and then I've also got the request URL where I am appending to the end of the URL my access token, so that basically Canvas can end up knowing that it's me. So what we are going to do is we're going to go ahead and start off by visiting the Canvas LMS API documentation. What we want to end up bringing up is the assignments API. Now what we want to end up doing is listing assignments. If we end up going here, we can end up finding this API request, this endpoint. And so as you can see, it's courses, and then we got to enter in the actual course ID, and then we're going to put in the assignments. And so what we can end up doing here is we can put in just that. This is our course ID for our course, and then this is the assignments endpoint. Now what we want to end up doing is we want to append, as we were saying, our access token onto that. And then next we can actually make an assignment request. And so we can end up putting assignments info equals. Now what we can do is request.get. What I'm going to pass in is that request URL. And then just as we were talking about in class, we want to put in the JSON data. Now what we can end up doing is we can print out this assignments info. And so now if I print this out, we can end up seeing all this information that's going to end up getting put in here. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and trash this. What this ends up coming in as is going to be a list. Now why is it a list? It's because it is all the assignments for a course. That is plural, so there are many different entries in here. And so what we can end up doing is we could index this out. If I end up printing this is going to bring in just the first assignment that appears in there. And so as you can see, for this particular assignment, this is the ID, this is the description. We've also got the name as well in here. So that's what we want to end up printing out. So the name we want to know. We also want to look at the points possible here as well. So that is the other key that we're going to be looking at. And so how can we get those? Well, we can end up going through here. And for each particular entry, we can end up referencing the name as well as the points possible. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a for loop. We're going to go for assignment info in assignments info. Now this is the plural form of this, right? Or sorry, this is the singular form of this, and then this is the plural form. So we're going to be looking at the singular form because we're basically iterating through that list of the JSON data where each item in that list or each dictionary within that list is going to be the actual assignments information in JSON form. And so now what I can do is within this assignment info, I can end up calling the name. And so I can end up looking at that. And so what we could do is we could print and we could go name, colon, and then I can append this name. Then what I can also do is I can go print and I can do points and I can do space. And then I can end up appending onto here the assignment info. And then we can put in here points possible. That's what we're using here, points possible. And so now, if you'd imagine, you're probably thinking, well, Mr. Rainbolt, points possible, it's not going to be an integer or a float. You're absolutely correct. It is going to be the case where it is going to be an integer or a float. We're going to run this. We're going to see what kind of error we get. But as you can imagine, we probably do need to put the string in front of this. So we're going to go ahead and run this. And it's going to go through, and sure enough, can only concatenate string, not float, to string. So we're dealing with a float for these points possible. So what we want to do is we want to go back in here for this points, and we want to ensure that we've converted this float to a string so that then we can concatenate that with the points. So now if I end up running this, you're going to end up finding that, well, all of our assignments for this class have been printed out, as well as the points that it is worth. And what we can end up doing here is we can also actually append at the end of this /n. What is that going to do? That's going to end up bringing in a nice indentation for us so that all these are separated by a new paragraph there. Anyways, hope that was helpful. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, like, comment, subscribe. See y'all later. Bye-bye.